Welcome. This is the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, and we are so glad that you've made it to a calmer corner of your day. Here, we focus on real solutions, practical help, and the kind of encouragement we could all use a little more of. So let's get to it.
Let me say this right up front. Trying to be the perfect caregiver will burn you out faster than almost anything else. If you're caring for a parent, a spouse, or someone you love, and you feel like you're constantly falling short, constantly second-guessing yourself, constantly feeling guilty, this episode is for you. Today I want to talk about letting go of caregiver perfectionism, what it looks like, why it sneaks in so easily, and how loosening your grip on doing everything right can actually make you a better caregiver and a healthier human being. I'm Robin Schultz, a senior home safety specialist. I've worked with older adults and family caregivers for years, and I've seen this pattern over and over again. Good people, loving people, exhausted people, beating themselves up for things no one could realistically manage perfectly. Caregiver perfectionism often starts quietly. You do not wake up one day and say, well, that's it, I'm going to demand perfectionism from myself. It creeps in slowly. It shows up as thoughts like, I should be more patient, or I should know what to do by now, or if I really loved them, I wouldn't feel frustrated. But I want you to hear this clearly. Those thoughts are not facts. They are pressure, and that pressure adds weight to an already heavy role. Caregiving is unpredictable. People's needs change, health changes, moods change, energy changes. Even the best plans fall apart sometimes, right? Perfectionism tells you that mistakes mean failure, but real life tells you that mistakes mean you're human. I've worked with caregivers who did everything. Managed medications, coordinated appointments, modified the home, watched for falls, handled finances, provided emotional support, and still felt like they weren't doing enough. That is perfectionism talking. Perfectionism also loves to compare. It whispers, other caregivers seem to handle this better, or I should be able to do what they're doing. But you don't see what happens behind closed doors. You don't see their tears and their arguments and exhaustion or their doubts. You're comparing your inside life to someone else's outside snapshot, and that is never going to be a fair fight. Here's something important too. Caring well does not mean caring endlessly without limits. It doesn't mean sacrificing your health, your sleep, or your sense of self. In fact, when you try to be perfect, a few things usually happen. First, you stop asking for help because needing help feels like failure. Second, you ignore your own warning signs because stopping feels selfish. And third, resentment starts to grow, quietly at first, then loudly. And resentment does not mean you're a bad caregiver. It means your load is too heavy. Letting go of perfectionism does not mean lowering your standards of care. It means changing your standards for yourself. Instead of asking, did I do everything right today? Try asking, did I do the best I could with the energy and information I had today? Those are two very different questions. Perfectionism focuses on outcomes you can't control. Letting go focuses on effort and presence and intention. Some days will go smoothly and some days won't. Some days you'll say the right things and other days you'll lose patience. That doesn't erase the love or the care you provide. I've had caregivers tell me they feel guilty for wanting a break and for feeling tired, or guilty for wishing things were different. So, I want you to know that wanting relief does not mean you don't love the person you're caring for. It means you're human and your nervous system needs a rest. Perfectionism often comes from fear, like fear of judgment or fear of regret or fear of looking back and thinking I should have done more. But here's the truth. You can do everything right and still face hard outcomes. Aging and illness do not follow rules and they do not reward perfection. What they require is adaptability, compassion, and flexibility. Letting go of perfectionism might look like this. accepting that the house doesn't need to be spotless to be safe, choosing rest over one more task, saying no to something extra, hiring help if you can, asking family members to step in, and letting things be good enough. Good enough is not neglect. It is sustainable care. And sustainable care keeps you in the game longer. It protects your health and it protects your relationship with the person you're caring for. I often tell caregivers, you are not a machine or a checklist. You are a person in a very demanding role. You don't need to earn your rest and you don't need permission to struggle. You don't need to prove your love by being exhausted. Perfectionism, if that has been driving your caregiving, well, I want you to pause today and take a small step back. Breathe. Loosen your shoulders. Lower the bar just enough to breathe again. Caregiving is not about being flawless. It's about being present. And presence matters far more than perfection ever will. So thanks for joining me today. Please share this episode with someone you care about who could use the information to make their life safer. You'll find more resources for seniors and caregivers on our website at seniorsafetyadvice.com. And if you're searching for an aging in place specialist, please visit our sister website at aginginplacedirectory.com. Then come back tomorrow for another daily moment of guidance and encouragement right here on the Senior Safety Advice Podcast. Oh yes, and if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or to this podcast yet, go ahead and do that right now too. Until next time, thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.
This podcast is part of our mission to help older adults live safely and independently. If you'd like to take the next step, visit aginginplacedirectory.com, where you'll find specialists, helpful resources, and inspiration to make every home your place to thrive.